So if you haven't paid attention, this is part 5. I think this is the most parts of a video that I've ever done. And it's kind of, I guess, showing you the series of progression of what has happened to my non-maintained DB Pro. Now, I say non-maintained, but apparently I have maintained, kind of. But if you've realized the amount of abuse that this car has been through, for it to be at the state that it is right now, still running, still driving, except, well, actually, that's not right. That's not right because I've got a blown motor. So it's not still running and driving, but the bones of it, meaning the bones of it, front differential, rear differential, and the center diff, everything seems to be fine. Granted, that gear is shark finned. I'm still going to run it, though, because this gear is fine, and it's the motor. This is the Spektrum 3150 kV, which is the whole bunch of letters and 1000 at the end. So this motor, the bearing basically, well, here, let me show you. Basically, the bearing took what I call a dump. And it's not seized. I mean, I know I said that the motor's seized. It's actually not seized. Seized means that it will not rotate. It rotates, but it rotates with such force. And if you hear that, you can hear that the bearing's gone. And when you actually look inside of there, you can see that the shaft is offset to the center of this cap. So today on RC Guy Garage, we're going to dive into seeing the carnage, seeing the inside of this motor, seeing what the bearings look like, or bearing. I do have, I hope, a bearing that will fit. It's from that company. TRB RC, which I think I called it TBR RC last time, but it's TRB RC. And this is the bearing right here. This is actually a hybrid ceramic bearing. It's not the right package, but it's basically these ones right here. This is showing the front and the back. So you can see that the one on the right, has a blue seal, and the one on the left has a shield. Well, that's done that way. That's done that way on purpose because, yeah, it's just called a hybrid bearing. So it's a hybrid ceramic bearing. So one side sealed, the other side shielded. The shielded side is going to go towards the motor. The sealed side is going to go towards the pinion. So if that makes any sense, that's how it's working. So, like I always say, if you're interested in seeing this episode of RC Guy Garage, we're going to break into this Spektrum 3150 kV motor, which has been thoroughly abused its entire life, and not once has this motor ever been cracked open or maintenanced. So, yeah. People are saying, or someone said, that motors need to be maintenanced every month or something like that. I don't maintenance nothing. I run it till it dies and then fix it. And then basically repeat the whole process. Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to pay that price of, I don't know, just getting out and ripping it. I don't know why the heck he's doing that. Anyways. Alright, so I do want to get this car back together, but I want to break open into this motor just to see exactly what's going on. So I do need to separate this. I am going to use some fire, so I'm going to throw some fire on these two bolts just in case. So the 1, 2, and then I am going to touch fire on these 3 screws because this motor right here, which is not fixed yet because I don't have my drill yet. I'm waiting for a nice Black Friday deal to go ahead and get my drill that Earl Moorhead actually gave a super chat for me to go ahead and get myself a whole new drill set. Not that I needed it. I've got like 3, 4 drills. Well, 2 drills and 2 impacts. But I thank him for the super chat anyway because I'm telling you, man, that was nuts. Guy, thank you. It's not necessary, but I definitely appreciate it. So, yeah. So this is the Spektrum. Let me pull it out of the package. So this is also a Spektrum motor, and this is the motor that you're finding in the Senton, the Big Rock, all that 3S line. It's the 3200 kV motor, and this thing has been known to be plagued with a front motor bearing issue. Now, this one, I don't even remember the history on this. I actually don't remember the history on this. I think this was an original motor. I don't think this was a warranty. Pretty sure the warranty is actually in the Big Rock. Yeah, I don't even know, man. At this point in time, I just don't know. But when I had gone to take out the screws, because they're 1.5, the head's basically stripped out immediately. I think one of them was salvageable or something like that, or I don't know, man. You know what? Now that I come to think of it, I think the motor that's in the Big Rock is the warranty that I also replaced the bearing on, because I think within like 3 packs or something around there, that bearing started to go, and I just said, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna toss a bearing in it now, and yeah, I think that's how it went. Man, my mind is just gone. Oh, actually, you know what? That probably is warranted. I think that may have been warranted by... Okay, so the A-Mains motor was warranted, or the A-Mains Big Rock, because Horizon dropped the ball on me with the Big Rock. A-Mains Big Rock, they warranted that motor because of a different issue, I think. Or was it the ESC? I don't remember nothing anymore. I just want to get out and rip something before I'm dead. All right, so I do have screws now. They are a larger screw. They're longer. It's not going to matter because it's going into the back of the case, and the bearing is like way inside of here, and the new screws aren't going to touch it, but I do need to upstep the hole. I'm going to upsize it, 1 drill bit size, and then I'll be able to basically just ram home these screws into the aluminum, and it should be fine. That's just how I'm going to do it. So, but I think what I want to do, though, is size-wise, these motors appear to be exactly the same. Yeah, so these motors are exactly the same. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take the screws that are in here, and I'm going to transplant them to here, and then I'm going to take this motor, warranted or not, either way, I know that my motors have the new front bearing. I'm going to take this motor, which is a 3200 kV, 50 kV faster than the stock motor, and I'm going to go ahead and throw this in here and just run this motor, and then fix this one, and then just use this as a motor for something else. This motor is old, so this has survived. What I'm hoping is that the bearing is the exact same thing as the bearing here. So yeah, we just got to break this thing open. So like I said, I'm going to touch these two with fire just so I can break them free. Hopefully that's enough. And wrong driver guy. And plenty. And plenty. All right, so looking at it, basically it's probably the same exact thing. I'm now going to hit the pinion with some fire. Just to break that free. This does not have the D-lock thing that this motor has. So now I'm going to pry that off, which needle nose for that. Ooh, hot. Hot stuff, man. Jeez, I didn't expect that thing to get that hot that fast. Wow. God, it's going to melt my table. Wow. All right, keep all that stuff together. Washers, screws, throw it over to the side. Like I always say, paper towels are going to be your friend. Alright. So now, like I said, wow, that shaft got hot too. Holy smokes. So you can see there's a little bit of an offset, and that just obviously means that bearing is junk. So I need a 1.5 to go ahead and get after these. But like I said, I'm just going to touch each of them with a little bit of heat first. Get my 1.5 ready. Touch them with heat. One. 2. 3. Just touch them with heat, so hopefully they don't strip out. And that was like butter. That was like butter. These might not have to be, but all I know is that the other one stripped out, so now I am going to touch every one of these with heat when this happens. So I got that screw, and this one. Now keep in mind, I did heat this up, so could be hot. Put those to the side. And for now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take these screws and stuff them in the holes. One. 2. And you have to crank these down. There we go. So now this motor is going to be replaced into that. Pinion's not hot anymore. See? So that's going to be mint. Let's see here. So I'm going to get the car off of here because Vector's trying to visit. All right. So now I need to pop off this back cover. All right, so the back bearing actually looks like it's all right. There was a little shim. Okay, so there's the little shim. Now, this is the thing that I always mess up. So there was the little shim, and then there's that... Oh, there's 2 of them. So there's 2 of these little convex... It's like a... It's almost like having like a thrust washer kind of sort of thing. What it is that it's a bent washer that just applies a little bit of tension on the rotor. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that out. Like I said, this bearing... That bearing is actually mint. What I will do is I am going to drop a couple drops of oil inside that channel. And that way, see what he's checking out? He's looking at, he's looking right at that picture. See that? See how there's a little picture on there? He's looking at the picture. It says poison, nothing but a good time. See him staring at it? Come on, you tell me that they're not alive? All right. I'm just kidding. But look at it, come on. Why does it go all the way over to the picture? So that bearing is mint. And obviously that's the back side of the shaft. So that's not getting any stress. But what I said I'll do is I am going to drop some oil in there. And I just use a shock oil when I do this, normally. And I usually use, this 20 weight because I don't really have much of a use for 20 weight oil. So I use it for doing exactly this. Throw a couple things of oil in there, a couple splashes of oil, and then I'll just set this thing aside. Now I need to pull the rotor out. Oh my God. Look at that. Oh, it totally disintegrated. Just like the other bearing. That could be a bad thing. Yeah, that, oh, there's little balls flying everywhere. That didn't sound too good. There's balls flying everywhere, guys. So we have got a lot of aftermath on this rotor. Lot of pieces. Oh man, look at all the balls sticking to it. So this has got to be cleaned up because there's a lot of aftermath, metal shards and pieces everywhere on this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and you can see what the issue was. The issue was rust. You can see the rust on there. The rust definitely took out that bearing. There's pieces, oops. There's pieces still inside of here. Look at that. Piece of the shield. So basically, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other one. Just going to clean this up. I'll use some... Oh, my trash barrel's gone. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta go get my trash barrel. And I am back. So there are a few balls left over. Get that screw out of there. So I'm going to use a, I do have an electrical cleaner I can use, but what I'm going to do is I got to get my stuff there. PB Blaster. PB Blaster will be able to hopefully get this inner race, hopefully to move. If not, I will have to use fire, and then I'll use the vise like how I did before on that other motor. But it looks like it cleaned up all right. Like I said, I'm just going to get some cleaner. Can use some brake clean on that just to clean it up. A little bit of a paper towel. Clean that up. Yeah, we'll see if we can get that off. The biggest part is going to be getting the inner race out. They usually don't like to come out. That's been my experience. But it does look like there's still a piece of something there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try tapping it out right now on camera. See if I can give it a couple of taps. So, yeah, that was a no. So what I need to do is I need to shine a light in there. I'm going to clean this off. The other thing that I thought I mentioned, but I didn't mention it, just realized it right now. The reason why this is not going to be possibly a... What is all that? The reason why this is possibly not going to be a drop-in replacement is obvious, the motor wire length. So I may be relocating the ESC to accommodate for this motor. Anyway, I'm going to throw some, I got to get that stuff. I'll be back. So the only thing that obviously becomes an issue is trying to get the bearing out, because once the center is gone, there's no way to bite on or to get in there. So it becomes kind of a battle of trying to figure out how to get that piece out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of blaster, and I'm going to squirt some just right inside that little section right there. Just like that. Not a lot. Should have a paper towel already out. Move all this junk out of here. And what I need to do now, I had thought about if I could use some fire and heat up this section, but the thing is with aluminum, it really dissipates heat fast, and that piece of aluminum is fairly thick. So I think I'm gonna, like I said, I've got the PB blaster on there. I'm gonna put a couple little squirts on this thing as well. That stuff like just blast everywhere. That's why they call it PB blaster. It just blasts out. Gets all over my iPad screen. My iPad screen gets nice and lubricated. All right. So I'll let that kind of marinate on there. Letting this kind of marinate on here a little bit. I don't really need it on this section. So now I'm going to take a driver and I'm going to try to give a couple of taps at an angle to try to drive what I can see down using a ball peen hammer. So I'm just going to do that. I'll go on this edge, see if I can pound that down. Should put the camera here. This just makes more sense this way. Just try to give it some taps down. Because the thing is that I don't know if I'm really hitting. No, did it work? Oh, I think it's working. Oh, if that's working, I'm going to be very happy. But if it's not, I'm not going to be. I don't think it's working. You know what it's doing is it's pounding down the rest of the exploded seal. So this is where it's going to be tough. Did it work? Oh, no stinking way. It came out. It came out like literally without a hitch. Now that's the way you want it to happen. This is where I switch over to my piece of crap Note 8 so that I can get you a flashed in version to see what I'm talking about. So, inside of there, it's different. No! It's a smaller bearing. What the heck? How does what's seemingly a better motor have a smaller bearing? That is the whole bearing. So what I was thinking is that was like a separate piece. But it's not. It is literally just... crap. It's not the same bearing. Well, this turned into a waste of time. Well, that was basically a waste of time and a discovery. That the bearing is not the same. So these Spektrum, this particular Spektrum uses a different size bearing. Yeah, look at that. I should have noticed that. Look at that size bearing. That bearing size is massive. Dang it. Well, this is a waste of an episode. Well, I am going to clean that out. I will be able to get my measurements. I was thinking it was some type of a sleeve, but it's not. All right, I'll be back once I'm done cleaning. Might as well use a little bit of the motor spray. Clean that out real quick. Put that like that. Hopefully that will clean that inside out of there. Just trying to clean that bearing surface. Yeah, see all that junk I gotta get out of there. So I think I'm gonna dip this motor in my juice solution to clean that. Oh, look at all that junk coming out of there. The magnet's helping get all that crap out of there. Look at that. See what the magnet's doing? That's what's good about having a little magnetic tray like this, especially for something like this. It's getting all that junk out of there. Look at that. All that black is all magnetic material that came out from inside of there. Use a Q-tip. That might help. But I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Let's see. Listen to that. Look at that junk that came out of there. More like metal shards. Watch out for these like little metal shards right here. Those things will get right into your finger. See that tiny little thing? Thing's looking to kill somebody. I think that's all right. Now this has obviously been eaten away a little bit, but that's no big deal. Still should be okay. Definitely looks cleaner in there, but I'm going to clean it up again. So I'm going to use this. Dip the motor in there. Just to get all the junk out of there. Another paper towel, jam it in the hole, and just use the needle nose to give it a spin. Sounds a lot cleaner now. That's a lot better. So, inside of there is definitely a lot happier now. Matter of fact, there's junk all over in there. So I'm going to use the brake clean, I think. I think what I need to do is something a little different here. What the hell stuck to this now? Wow. Got all the junk in there. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so most of that's in there is actually an epoxy. So there was dirt in there, but most of it is some type of an epoxy, obviously, to keep the windings, or wasn't that called the stator? Keep the windings inside the motor. So, but this thing's all cleaned out now. I'm happy with that. Now I just need to find my calipers. So knowing that I already need a bearing, and realizing that it wasn't like some type of like a dual sleeve. I thought that's what I had seen in the other one. I must have been slightly confused or something, but that's not a surprise. So I have, technically, I've got the width of my bearing, or the depth. I've got the width of my bearing, and then I've got the outer diameter of my bearing. I have the width of the bearing, and because I have the shaft, or know what the shaft size is, which I could just measure just to confirm. I mean, I know what it is, but might as well just do it just for reference. Then we can go over to the computer and see if we can find a bearing. All right, so I got my digital caliper right here. So I'm going to go ahead and measure the outer diameter, coming in at, I'd say, what, 13? 13 by a width, zeroed out, by a width of, say, about 4. And then, obviously, you know, we know what the shaft width is. I'll just go ahead and measure it anyway. So 5. So we are looking for a 13 by 5, a 13 by 4 by 5 bearing. So let's go over to the computer and see if we can find one. And the reason why I'm saying let's go over to the computer and find one, because I know, yeah, I'm fairly confident that I can get the inner race off. So let's go check it out. Okay, so normally the way a bearing is measured, it's going to be inner, outer, and then width or depth. I don't know if they call it width or depth, but I'm going to say width. So we do have an inner diameter of 5. So I'll put in 5 millimeters, then obviously the X, which is the by, and then we'll go by 13 millimeters by 4 millimeters in depth. Hit enter and see what we come up with. It's looking like that's the right bearing. So we've got 5 by 13 by 4. You know what I want to do though? I'm going to put in that TRB RC. TRB RC. Let's see if that actually comes up with a bearing. So Amazon. There we go. We can actually go to the TRB RC website. 4 by 13 by 5. Or no. 5 by 13 by 4. Let's just go right up into the search here. So 5 by 13 by 4. See what it comes up with. 4 by 13 by 5. That's not exactly what I was thinking here. Non-flanged. Something's in my eye. Metric bearing by size. So we've got 5 by 12 by 4. 5 by 13 by 4. Bam. Right there. So precision ball bearing. So it looks like if I was going to buy that many, and I don't know if that's the hybrid bearing though. Ceramic right there. Are the hybrids 5 by 13 by 4, but that's a lot. $7.28 right there. There we go. So there's the TBR RC 5 by 13 by 4. How do you know that that's correct? I wish there was a way. Like, I wish they showed how the measurement's done just so I could, like, prove that the way you measure a bearing is inner diameter, outer diameter, and then width. So ID, OD, and then W. I don't think it's D. I think it is W. But ID. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. Bam! Sometimes I'm telling you, man. Right there. Dimensions as followed. I should, I'm going to screenshot that. Oops. Whoa, that was a whole screenshot. I didn't want to screenshot the whole thing. Bam! Now I can use that. All right, so we know for at least right through the TRB RC. I have to keep, like, looking at that. The TRB RC, at least through the TRB RC website, we know that that's going to cost whatever it is, 5% off if we get 2 or more. I only have one of these motors, so I'm just going to go ahead and just hit the cart. I'm going to check out with PayPal. Obviously, it's going to show information that you don't need to see. All right, so, shipping is free. So $7.28. So that's not too bad. But the question is, being a price shopper, which is the best way to go? Should I just go ahead and see if I can punch that in? Maybe get it from Amazon? So jump right into Amazon. I'm going to put right in the search bar exactly what I copied and hit enter. See what comes up. So Not liking how that's coming up. So maybe if I just get rid of that, hit enter, 5x13x4, TBRC, oh, look at that. And it's not the same thing. It's not the hybrid bearing, which I've been liking the hybrid bearing. So that's a regular straight. So it's literally cheaper. It's cheaper to go ahead. What is that? TRB RC ceramic motor bearings for Arrma BLX 100, 120, and 185 versions. What is that? And I think I just saw the bearing that I needed. What is that? 5x13x4 and a 5x16x5. Huh. It's weird how they say BLX 100, 120, and 185, but that's obviously what the motors are. But what I did see was this right here. Bam. $7.28 with free shipping. 6 left. It is the correct one, 5x13x4. Same exact thing, right? But see, that's not... Oh, it is hybrid... Oh. Hybrid seals. Wait a minute, what the hell's a hybrid seal? I thought the hybrid bearing was ceramic. Hybrid seals. Wait a minute. Ah, I thought that was ceramic. Hybrid seals. Each bearing contains low contact rubber seal and a no-contact metal shield. Rubber seal to face the dirt side, which I'd never read that. This is where, yes, reading is beneficial. It really is beneficial. It even gives a Losi number. The bearing can be used to replace part number LOSA 6955. Isn't that funny, huh? I don't know. I do get a kick out of those things sometimes. Well, that is the bearing, so I could get it straight from these guys, or I could go ahead and get it from Amazon. Now, the thing with Amazon is I know, look at that, current stock 6. And Amazon is saying current stock 6. I think I'm just going to go ahead and click buy now. Makes sense. Oh, right there, ships from. Wait a minute. So does that mean it's not Amazon Prime? That means I don't know when this thing is going to show up. And not that it matters, because it really doesn't matter. And then buying it through Amazon, I just buy my stuff through there anyway. So there'll be a link in the description if you need the bearing that's for this motor. This is the bearing that I would recommend. But I thought this was a hybrid ceramic. What if I put in ceramic? Precision ceramic. It's not like I need ceramic, though. You know, I'm just going to go with the regular. Yeah. I know I made this difficult, but I'm going to go ahead and just click buy now. Obviously, there's one box that's grayed out. $7.74 with tax. And that's obviously going to go on... What the heck was that? Now, here's something that's cool. Whoop. See this little side window that showed up? This little side window that showed up. This is something that I would recommend that you actually install on your computer. This is a Honey extension. It's a Honey extension. And what that does is it will give you, basically it'll tell you the best price. And I've used that in the past before where, you know, maybe an item I had seen, like, because they'll give you like a graph, and the graph will sometimes show you that there's been price changes, right? And you can sometimes see, you can watch the price changes. You can see that, let's say this bearing was, let's give a level number of $8. Let's say the bearing was $8, and then like maybe like 3 days ago or a week ago or whatever, it was $3 or $4, right? But it would show that graph. And then what you could do is take this bearing, if you didn't need it right away, throw it into your cart, and then in Amazon. And then once you do that, if the price goes down, because that's what happens is when you put it in your cart or you save it for later. I think when you save it for later, it automatically, you got to check it out for yourself, but somehow it saves it for later, or you save it for later, and then they'll shoot you a text message or an email. They'll shoot you a text message or an email on your device, and what you can do is you can check the price, and then normally it's because the price dropped. It'll say like a price alert or something like that, and then you can buy it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place the order right now, and that's it. So now we can go back and, man, I don't even know how long this video is going to be. Because if this video right here is literally going to be like another hour-long video, no one likes seeing those hour-long videos, I'm assuming. But to be honest, put a link in the... Yeah, put a link. Do me a favor. If you actually watched this video, tell me what you watched it for. Like, I'm really curious, because I don't really see people getting any information out of stuff like this. I feel sometimes it's like something to watch. Yeah, maybe you got like the bearing size or whatever. If you have that motor, makes it easy so you don't have to look it up. You don't have to take it out. You can just do it. But also, you can't slay me if somehow, you know, the manufacturer changed bearing size or something like that. That ain't my fault. But I am curious. I am curious to know why a video like this was watched, if it was even watched. See, I'm like second guessing now. Is anybody going to even watch this video? I know somebody will, and I definitely appreciate it. Don't forget this. Don't forget that other thing. You know, it says words in it. It says words. It does not say unsubscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going against I made like this rule with myself. I wasn't going to say subscribe, but I guess it doesn't hurt because, I don't know, man. Sometimes you do forget, I guess. I don't know. It does help the channel though if you do subscribe, and it does help if you give it a thumbs up. It's the watch time. It's everything. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop this video, and if I feel the video is like short enough, never mind, there's going to be a part 6. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage. This is RC Guy Garage, man, and I am just out here having a blast, trying to enjoy the hobby, and hopefully you watched. And for real, put something down in the, whatever it is, the comments. I think I said description. Put a comment in the, I almost said description again. Put a comment in the comment section and tell me why you watched the show if you made it all the way this far. So, yeah. Don't forget that merch, man. We got keychains, which are pretty cool. They're small enough so they don't get in the way. We got stickers. We got this one right here, which this one is the white sticker, and this one right here is the clear sticker. How do you know the difference? Because the clear sticker actually has a larger white section, which is what you're seeing is you're just seeing the background. But we got stickers. Again, these are small enough. You know, they don't get in the way. And like I said, one of them's clear, one of them's white. We also have these things right here, coasters. See, we got the RC Guy Garage shirts. Here's what it looks like on the back. And don't be afraid to go ahead and pick yourself up one. The link is in the, I think, the first line of the description of this video. So just get out there and rip something. And then